Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, steady on, Tim and Matt see how far they can stretch their legs. We're up in London, hobnobbing with the capital's top gun makers. We've got news and views for you from across the globe. First, we've found Max. He's been hiding up a mountain with a golden eagle and a blonde.
As most of you know, I spent last fall driving all the way to Kyrgyzstan in my old Land Rover Defender. After that I made it back home and spent almost all winter for driven hunts in Germany. Had a lot of fun, shot a lot of animals, but I missed you guys down here. In December I went back to Kyrgyzstan and I had actually a very nice experience because I got the opportunity to invite a girl, or she grabbed the opportunity to join me, Ragnhild, for the trip to Kyrgyzstan because we had an appointment with an eagle hunter. It took me almost 50 days to drive to Kyrgyzstan from Denmark. Testing the Land Rover and my nerves. The ice melts fast here and I have to be careful crossing terrain like this. But what a stunning place.
It's pretty here! One word, power.
My new friend Rags is used to adventures. She was a professional hunter in South Africa for nearly 3 years and has had to manage dangerous game as well as ferocious clients.
In South Africa, you got to be aware, and you didn't have to be that in Kyrgyzstan. And the people were just so friendly. They were happy to see you, and even if you didn't understand the language, you could speak to them in body language. And yeah, they just invited you. If it was for vodka or food or whatever, they were just happy that you were there and you liked their country.
On this trip we're facing unfamiliar challenges every day, and this hunting trip is going to be one of them. Rex has never flown a bird, and it's a special honor. Women don't hunt here, men do. We are really lucky. Normally Kara does not take any visitors out hunting. He tells us that he competes in the national championships every year, where they hunt for wolves and foxes. He's won a lot of medals, but today he's going to show us how to hunt for rabbits and hare, and maybe if we're lucky and see a fox, we'll try to get that one as well. Kara throws stones down the cliff to scare away the foxes. He has to protect the eagle if it makes a kill.
I'm gonna take the hat off and let him do his job.
The job? What do I get?
Catch the rabbit then.
Kara took his bird from the nest and reared it by hand. It's a vital part of the family. I happen to have a fox call in my pocket, and Kara has never seen or heard anything like this before. It could have introduced a whole new style of hunting to this region.
3, 4.
It's such a great experience to meet the family back home and to eat with them. Nothing is wasted, everything is used. The youngest child seems to have quite an appetite. Carter hunts several times a week to feed the family, but most of all, to protect his sheep. Rex and I hope to bring you much more of our adventures in the coming month, but Kyrgyzstan will take some beating. That is one of the reasons why I decided to take an even bigger journey now. The plan is now leaving Scandinavia again in a few weeks, and we will be driving from Scandinavia all the way through Russia again into Kazakhstan, and this time we will take Mongolia as well, and we'll try to see if we can make it to Kamchatka. And from there we want to get the car shipped and even go to Alaska and drive from Alaska all the way to New York. But much more about that later.
Nice to see Max back in action, and if you want to see him bow hunting in Hungary, click on the link that's magically appeared up there in the sky behind me. Now, from Max to Min, it's David on the Fieldsports channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The Scottish Government wants all air guns licensed. There are an estimated 500,000 air guns in Scotland, and owners will be criminalised unless they buy a licence. The Association of Scottish Police Superintendents has warned that licensing will be unwieldy and expensive, and 87% of respondents to the government's consultation rejected the proposal. However, Scottish politicians reckon they know better. Sellafield Nuclear Power Station has found itself in the middle of an animal rights row. Sellafield announced that 3 roe deer trapped in its fencing were culled in March, following advice from the government's Deer Initiative. However, the campaign group Radiation Free Lakeland say they are suspicious about Sellafield's actions. They claim Sellafield enticed new wildlife into the area with new woodland, trapped them with the new fences, and that roe deer are increasingly threatened. Meanwhile, a conservation group in the south of England has called for the wholesale slaughter of roe deer in Oxfordshire and Berkshire. In an effort to protect woodlands, the Berks, Bucks and Oxon Wildlife Trust has spoken in favour of a study by the University of East Anglia. It claims that roe and muntjac deer populations have been underestimated and pose a serious and growing problem, and 60% of them need to be shot. A hunting app for your mobile phone is currently topping the charts of sport apps in the USA. TerraStride produces the Hunt Stand range of apps, which allow you to log game sightings and feeding areas using 40 icons for different land types. Don't forget the British shooting apps, Gemma by Mark Gilchrist and eGamebook by Peter Wilson. A conservative anti-hunting group says the party should drop its commitment to repeal the ban on hunting, saying the issue is worn out. Prime Minister and Conservative leader David Cameron stamped out rumours of an amendment to the 2004 Hunting Act to follow more than 2 dogs to flush out foxes. However, Environment Secretary Owen Paterson says that a free vote on repeal will take place. There's a new search engine for guns on the internet. Gunwatcher.com indexes gun sites across the web and allows people to look for specific firearms. It's currently limited mainly to US gun sites, but expects to expand. And finally, it was a good weekend for the Ling family. Former Olympian Ed Ling won the 2014 UK Trap Men's Championship. His fiancée Abby Burton won the UK Trap Women's, and brother Theo Ling took second place in the juniors. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Later in the programme, we're with Tim Pilbeam looking at shooting sticks. Next, from news to what you lot have been up to, it is Hallo Charlie.
Hello Charlie, I'm out here in Hungary this time, shooting wild boar. Just shot this yearling with my old friend Zoltan with Wonderheart. Thanks Wonderheart.
Hello Charlie, my name's Mark. I'm out here in Greece and I'm cooking on the barbie, a last teal out the freezer. There'll be 2 dogs, Drake and Teal, looking on. Or maybe not.
Hello Charlie, Paul from Denver again, here 3 o'clock, out on the road books. Just come across this little fella.
Send us your own Hallo Charlie. Film yourself on your mobile phone, just a sentence saying Hallo Charlie, who you are and what you're up to. Then share it or email it via YouTube, Facebook, Dropbox, or you send it, you name it, to charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Right now, the London set were out in force the other night, looking at what the best English gun makers have on offer. I went window shopping. Is England still great at making guns? Well, the barometer is in here, the Dorchester Hotel in London's Mayfair, which is hosting the Guns on Pegs Gunmakers Evening.
The second year we've run it, and it's just wonderful to see every single British gunmaker here tonight. For a select audience, ticket only, but hey, we're absolutely heaving. Yes, it's wonderful.
So far, so good. James Horn is happy and there's a real positivity in here. And most importantly, men and women are buying guns.
I mean, guns are men's jewellery, and that's the fun of it, really, is just buying jewellery. So if I wanted a Boss or a Purdy, clearly they're wonderful guns. But you know, we have Longthorn guns here, for example, a new English gun maker. They're making some fabulous guns.
Many have signalled the end of the best-known London gun makers, but no one here believes the rumours the industry has one foot in the grave.
Grossly exaggerated. You only have to look at a group of people like this to see that the interest is still there and alive and very much kicking. The real key to it is that we all in this room, manufacturers and potential customers alike, aspire to the best of English gun making. And it is in a place like this where you get a chance to touch the very finest. It doesn't mean that we can all afford it, but in our dreams we'd like to. So to talk about the demise of a sector like this is highly premature.
There you have it. Fear not, and keep saving those pennies. Now from some good old sticks to some stalking sticks, Tim Pilbeam and his friend Matt test out what's on the market. So are you buy, maybe try, or even a quad? Well, whichever way you play, shooting sticks are a personal thing. It depends on your terrain, the cover, how far you might be stalking, and the range over which you'll be shooting.
Shooting sticks is a very, very personal thing. Every stalker prefers their different type of stick. Today we're going to look into a variety of different makes, shapes and sizes, and hopefully today we may come to a conclusion, may help you pick the stick for what you want to use it for.
Tim is joined by his friend Matt Marples, an experienced stalker and stick user. He's going to talk us through a few techniques and tips to get your stick shooting as stable and accurate as possible. First of all, what's on the market?
Well, first ones we've got are my garden cane sticks, which I made 15 years ago. They probably cost a £5 to make then, and you could probably make them for a £10 now. These ones are yours, Tim, a pair of bipod sticks, but I think you bought at a game fair, and they probably cost you 30 or 40
Yeah,
pounds.
30 quid, yeah.
The Primos bipod trigger stick, I haven't used one of these, but I think they're just over £100 and are quite new to the market. There's my tri-sticks, which again I've had for a long time. I think I've had these for 15 years. They're about £150, but they're quite a good brand and quite a well-made one. You can get them right down to about £30, and I think right up to about £180. And then these ones, which I'm looking forward to try, are the Hammond sticks, which are a quad pod, and are very well made. And I don't know how much those are, Tim.
They're about £160 retail.
And then these are the ones you picked up in France, which again
Yeah,
are a quad pod.
Yeah, these are a prototype which I used up in Les Bourgs in France, and very light, so I'm really intrigued to compare those to the other ones here.
So something for all pockets, but it's really not all about price. Are they quiet? You don't want to drop a clanger after 4 hours of getting into a shooting position. Are they easy to deploy, or are you the proverbial octopus covered in baby oil unfolding a deck chair? Well, if it isn't a proverb, it should be. Of course, the key is practice. Slick sticks equals shooting success, and Matt is going to walk us through a few.
First one, my common garden cane stick. They're really cheap and they're quick to deploy. You can drop them down, they're very quick. You're then onto your sticks, you're up and you're onto your animal. You're never ever going to be absolutely rock solid, but you can help that because, okay, you've only got my sticks, but behind me I've got a big tree stump. So because they're easy to move, I can pick them up, I can move back, I then can lean back on something, lean into a tree. I'm now incredibly steady. The Primos trigger sticks. I haven't used these before, but I quite like the idea that you can pop them out and then you can adjust them to any height. The sticks I use mainly are tri-sticks, and I think they're the best compromise of everything. secret with them is you chuck up 2, get yourself in position to shoot. Right, my deer's moved. I need to move. So you move. My deer's settled. I can now deploy the 3rd stick. And as you see, you just bend it round, your 3rd stick's now up. And then just walk into it, I'm nicely up, bang. I'm really keen to try the quad stick, and you still have the ability to use it as a bipod, but then you also have the ability to pull back and use it as a quad pod, which is incredibly stable.
Time to shoot, and Matt and Tim are going to chop and change sticks shooting this smart blazer in 243. So at what range would Tim feel comfortable shooting a deer?
I'm fairly comfortable out to about 100 yards maximum. I'm not the best shot off sticks, I'm not that practiced. I do a lot of deer stalking, but it's not my best discipline. So 100 yards I'm more than happy with.
All the sticks are more than capable of being steady enough to shoot out to 100 metres, but not everyone has a shooting range like Mr. Pilbeam.
Dry firing is one of the best ways to practice. What dry firing shows you, which live firing doesn't, is your error. When you pull the trigger when you're dry firing, obviously the rifle doesn't jump up and down or move. So the only movement is the movement that your body has put on the rifle. So snatching the trigger or pulling it, or incorrect body position. And when you pull the trigger, you'll see your crosshairs move. And I remember years ago when I did my advanced deer management, I lived in London, couldn't get to a range, but every evening for a couple of weeks beforehand, I spent 10 minutes with my rifle in my living room with a small black dot on a wall, dry firing, and it played absolute dividends.
Right, to spice things up a bit, we're heading further back. The low mag Zeiss scope is not helping matters, but they are both going to use the quad sticks. This set has a broad front rest allowing lateral movement, so you can stay on an animal without moving position.
Some of the new shooting products do give a stable platform, but again, it's practice, practice, practice. You really want to be getting those to within an inch.
200 metres is not a problem for Matt and Tim. They're going one stage further, but before they do, here's a quick tip about stance.
You see far too many people shooting off sticks with their arse sticking out and their back bent like that, which isn't a stable position. You really need to keep your back straight and make sure your sticks are tall enough to enable you to do that. If you then keep yourself naturally pointed at the target and your rifle naturally pointed at the target, you'll be in a much more stable position. Keep your arm in, your front arm locked straight out, but not tense. And then from that position, you can become incredibly stable even off just a bipod stick.
Keep that rear in check. We are now at 260 metres and the boys are still hitting the mark. But that's with a pair of smart quad sticks from Hammond Sporting and the lightweights from 4stablestick.fr. So can Matt's 5 quidders still offer a decent rest at this distance? Not bad, that's a dead deer.
You know, you're nowhere near as stable off these. Personally, off buy sticks like these, you know, I think 100 metres is quite a long shot with a 4-mag scope.
The advice is always to extend your practice range and yourself when you have the chance. If you injure a deer at 100 metres, it is useful if you feel you could take a second shot at 200. As we've shown, there's plenty of kit on the market, but at range, in the words of George Orwell, or if you're being clever, in the words of Snowball's condensation of the 7 commandments of animalism, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. Thank you, Tim and Matt, and if you want to see some more reviews from Tim Pilbeam, click on the link that's appeared up there. Next up, let's look at the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. The French enjoy goose shooting in Scotland, and there are 2 films on offer this week. Universe Chasse Pêche has this one, which is GoPro footage set to music, and Chasse Khazar Hunting Channel, covering his linguistic bases there, has this, which is longer but more tactical. You will learn a bit about the hows as well as the whats of the goose shooting industry and still see plenty of action. Now I'm showing you this film, Trophy Chocolate Bear shot at 12 yards from the ground hunting in Alberta, Canada, not because it is an exceptional film, it's okay, but because it comes from the exceptional abhunting.com. If only everywhere had a website like this, a comprehensive list of hunting outfitters in Alberta by Albertans for everyone. I try to avoid DVD trailers on YouTube unless they are entertaining by themselves, and this one is. Trailer World of Wild Boar Hunting 2 has Polish filmmaker Michael Tam and his friends on wild boar driven hunts in Poland and Turkey. It's superb. Back to the French, and Bertrand de Courcy is in England after muntjac and Chinese water deer. Staying on deer, here's how the Spanish go roebuck stalking, actually much as we do. This Spaniard is after Barbary sheep or Atlas mouflon in Almeria. Hunter Raoul is accompanied by local guides Juan, Pedro and Andres. And finally, this is extraordinary. Viewer Niels from the Netherlands spots a little roebuck in the water, probably chased there by a bigger buck. It can't get out, so he grabs it and saves it. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you're missing the fishing films and the airgun films, watch our new shows, Airheads and Fishing Britain. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, if none of those grabbed your fancy, from tomorrow, Thursday the 22nd of May 2014, Airheads is out at 7 p.m. and Andy Crow is sharing his tips on decoying pigeons for airgunners. Shooting from the hip, we have pistol shooting tips. Ted is talking more sense. Jerry Moss is talking team tactics, and David is talking nonsense. Click on the link on the screen to watch it. Or perhaps you'd like to watch Fishing Britain. This episode features us smashing tackle. We break a £5,000 Daiwa rod and we try to set fire to a reel by attaching it to a pink scooter. News has the usual gamut of sharks and artful anglers. Click on the link on the screen to watch it. Well, we are once again back next week, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button that's somewhere around the outside of the screen, or go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or pop your email address into the constant contact box and we'll constantly contact you about our programme. That's at 7 p.m, Wednesdays, UK time. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Goodbye, good hunting, good shooting and good fishing.